Hey guys, how's it going? Shats here. I hope you guys are having a great summer, and this video is about some details of Seasoning Ash. I'm not going to point out every single detail about the animation, of course. I could be here talking for maybe 2 days straight. I'll just keep it like about the visual details that you guys might have missed, but I'm not going to address every one of them. I'll just leave, the fun to you guys in case you want to rewatch the parody and catch some more of these details. So I selected just a few of them that I want to address. Also, I'm not going to talk about the Easter eggs. I'm just going to talk about things you guys have missed outside of the Easter eggs. Although I'm just going to point out one Easter egg for a reason that you will know later. But just to give you an idea, this is the final timeline for the parody, and this is the final step basically before exporting the parody and uploading it to YouTube. But enough of that. Let's stay on the subject. So the first thing that I want to address is candles. I guess candles are a way to make the world of the animation a little bit more alive in a way. So I try to make them react to what's happening around. So for example, if we go to the scene when Gandir is defeated, you can see that when the vapor comes out of his head, the candles here basically they get blown out by the smoke, right? So for example, another instance is when Guile is using the portal to get me to Ariandel. You can see how the candles are reacting to the vortex here, and then they go in the first position again, They're like leaning to the side like that, I guess, like getting sucked, and then they come back to the normal state. Let's jump to the Frida boss fight, and again here, not only the candles are reacting, but also the particles in the air are reacting to Frida moving and I guess jumping down. And so as you can see here, all these particles are moving as soon as she jumps down, right? Let me show you again. Right here, see? Like the particles are going to the right and they move for a second. And as soon as she moves her sight, look at the candles right now. They're standing still, and then when she moves the sight, they move for a second. So let's continue with some other details. Let's go, for example, in the scene when I am entering Ariandel here. So in this scene, when my character is freezing to death, he's saying like, oh, it's so cold, and then he says, God, I would love to have a source of heat. So, a normal person, when he or she is talking in a cold weather, vapor comes out of the mouth. But especially when you say something when, oh, I feel like more hot air comes out of your mouth. So I decided to make some vapor come out of the mouth just when I say the first word, and when I say God later, as you can see here. See here?
I'm freezing.
And then here. So just in that specific moment, vapor comes out of the mouth because I'm saying something that makes the character push out of the mouth more air, which is hot, and so, in the cold weather, it results in vapor. Let's go now to the beginning of the animation. So this is an interesting detail. As you can see here, this is my Cintiq tablet that I actually use for my animations all day. So I decided to put these scratches here, and the reason why is because I usually, when I draw, I tend to draw on this side of the tablet. So what happens is that the tablet ends up being very scratched. So every time I start a new animation, I always have to remember to replace the screen protection, which is like a film that you apply to the Cintiq tablet. And so, kind of to celebrate the fact that doing animations always, in my case, makes the screen scratched, I decided to put these scratches exactly in the same position where usually I end up drawing my cartoons. Another detail here is when I'm surfing on the shield, and then I hit the bottom of the slope right here, you can see that some tiny particles of the water of the pond, they suddenly hit the screen. See here? I basically made like a bunch of drops of water hitting the camera that are out of focus here. You can see them here, 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 here. And it kind of helps to sell, you know, the fact that he's falling into the water. Splash, as you can see. Oh, and also, right at the end of the scene, there's a funny guy here on the left. I don't know if you guys notice him.
How the fuck is this voice coming out of this guy?
Whee! Now, right after that scene, as soon as I enter the scene, you'll notice that my belts on the armor are broken. See? There's like a scratch on the armor, and the belt is broken, and the parts are not connecting anymore. But if you go further, you will see, and I think many people didn't notice that now in the second shot, the belt is actually repaired with duct tape. Oh, and also there's another guy here. Do you see it in the window? The whole animation is full of funny faces hidden in, somewhere. So now that maybe you know that, if you rewatch the animation, I suggest you to search for silly faces because they're literally everywhere. So this is a very subtle detail, and I don't think many people probably notice it, but it kind of helps to give it a more realistic feel to the animation. Let me show you right now. Yeah, it's probably even almost impossible to notice it, but let me go frame by frame. So as you can see, when the bowl goes out of the shot, the reflection moves with the bowl. There's like a mask that I created in order to hide the reflection of the snow on the ground, as you can see here. You know, this is the reflection of the ground, the snowy ground around the bowl that is distorted, obviously, because the bowl is like a rounded shape, right? So as you can see, as soon as the bowl goes away from the snow, the reflection goes away, rightfully so. And when the bowl goes down again, the reflection comes again into the frame. It's barely noticeable, but I feel like it's a good detail. All right, so another little thing that I think many Dark Souls veterans, I think they would enjoy, is the Honor Londo sequence. I'm sure many of you guys probably noticed the painting guardian flying down here. Right in this moment, if you pause the video, you can barely see one of the painting guardians falling down, and that happens every time, you know, you're in that area that they accidentally fall down. So I decided to to put it here too. But the details that I actually wanted to point out is the broken window right here, which is, you know, the way you enter the cathedral for the first time. I don't know how many of you guys noticed that because it's tiny detail, but I'm very proud of it. And this is another kind of subtle thing that I don't think many people probably, because it's overly complicated to I guess catch. You know, it's a detail that is kind of meta about it. You know, there's something about breaking the fourth wall, I would say, and it's this scene here where Frida says clever. When she says clever, she makes a response, a comment to two things at the same time. She's saying clever because my character in the animation was able to find the contraption to open the shortcut, you know, to open the passage. But also she says, clever, because she's reacting also to the fact that me as an animator, I put the censorship here to save myself the hassle of making the animation of the statue turning. So her reaction, you know, clever, is both a reaction to me as the player finding the secret, or, you know, the secret passage, and also for me as the animator finding a way to avoid animating the statue. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that every time a champion Grave Tender is attacking me, in each one of the individual scenes, the shield has a different expression because his shield has like a lion on it, right? So the expression of the lion or you know, the decoration, it's different in every shot basically. But in this last one of these shots, when you know, Grave Tender is like celebrating, doing the pose, you can see that the shield has some Z symbols on it, right? This is like, you know, because he's sleeping, you know, just like the wolf behind. But as soon as Wilhelm comes down, you know, and it hits him, if I go frame by frame, you can see the expression is changing. I'm sure that many of you guys didn't see that. And also the symbols around the shield, they're not more Z, but they are an exclamation point, and you know, like, what the fuck is going on? Before talking about the Easter egg, I just want to point out this little thing that I think only the speedrunners of this game will recognize or will see, or maybe the hardcore players of this game, that they, you know, experiment with builds and stuff like that. So this is the scene when I am reading the comments on YouTube, right? I'll just say this, look at the letters, okay? Look at the letters and let me know in the comments if you find something odd about it. Some coincidence, I would say. So let's talk about the Easter egg that I told you at the beginning. Again, the parody has so many of them. It's like, it's crazy. Like, I think this is a record for me. But I am talking about this one in particular, when I'm using the lever here. So this is a Kinder Surprise. So the reason why there's a Kinder Surprise here is so convoluted and crazy that I don't think people probably realize why it's there. So let me tell you the cryptic reason why it's there. So the world of Ariandel, it kind of echoes what happened in the first game, you know, in the painting world of Ariamis, which is a world that, I should say, stuff that is banned from the real world gets basically sealed inside, you know, like all the bad things, all the atrocities, or maybe you know, enemies that are corrupted or stuff like that gets basically exiled inside of the painting world of Ariamis, you know, like something that you want to, I guess the realm wants to get rid of, right? And so in the United States, the Kinder Surprise, we have those here in Europe, but in the United States, the Kinder Surprise is actually banned because little children, they, I don't know if something happened, like a court case, I have no idea. All I know is that the Kinder Surprise in the United States is banned because, you know, it's a chocolate egg that you open and there's a surprise inside that you can build, you know, like a little toy, I would say. Little children would like swallow the games that are inside the Kinder Surprise. And so since this is banned, I decided to put it in this world, you know, like something that is banned from the actual world. So it's just a very cryptic reference, but I hope you guys, some of you guys, maybe one of the millions of people that luckily saw the animation, they caught on. But I guess the thing that I wanted to say with this is that everything in this animation, in all my animations, I try to make everything have a purpose of what I do. It's not just random, you know. I try to really put something in a place with a purpose, you know. Even like the songs, like Another One Bites the Dust, when the song plays, you know, the cover that I played, it is obviously because I'm trying to keep like an 80s vibe to the whole animation, you know, something that is like a tradition from the first Dark Souls 3. And, you know, it literally has a meaning here, you know, because I'm falling in the ground and I'm eating dust right there, you know. So everything that I do has like a meaning that I try to construct. So before I wrap this up, there's something in this animation throughout the entire animation that almost nobody, even after 10,000 comments, actually noticed. Just 2 people actually came close to noticing something. They were like, there's something about this that I noticed. But nobody did an actual research to find each and every one of these secrets. But let me just say that, okay, I'll just keep it very vague for you guys, but there are some recurring visual elements. There's a single visual element that is hidden in many scenes of this cartoon, and it's recurring throughout the entire animation many times. So I'll leave it to you to find it, what it's all about. I would say that it's kind of like a mark. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to give you some motivation to maybe, you know, in the future rewatch the animation and pay attention to these details. Again, I only scratch the surface and I'll leave to you, you know, the pleasure or the fun to find or notice all these details. And so now here's the announcement. This September, right before I start working on season 9, which will be, you know, the last chapter for this trilogy, I have a new Dark Souls short animation coming out. The storyboard is already done. I just have to start working on it. I'm going to start working on it in September because now I'm trying to take some time off. But yeah, the storyboard is already done. And you might ask, you know, it's a Dark Souls animation. Yeah, but which one of the Dark Souls? So I'll leave you with a screenshot of just one of the storyboards about it. And I'll leave it to you to figure out what Dark Souls I'm talking about, okay? And also the Patreon rewards for Seasoning Ash will come next week, you know, with the wallpapers, storyboards, and art book from this last animation, and, you know, all that good stuff. So thank you again for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care.